So I'm sorry that I suck. I don't know how I went from summer to food, but whatever. I got something in my eyeball. My lash is playing me today. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. For today's video, I'm so excited because I'm going to be testing out the new Natasha Denona Zendo palette. This is the newest Natasha Denona palette, and if you didn't know, I am a newer person to Natasha Denona and her formula and all that stuff. I've slowly been collecting some of her palettes, so I don't have a lot, so I can't really like compare a ton. I'm going to show you some thoughts that I have of when I first saw this palette and like compare it to some of the palettes that I do own. I'm also going to be doing 2 looks with this palette, one on each eye, just to get a feel for the formula. I'm going to be doing some swatches. I will have the timestamps listed in the description box if you're interested in skipping over the swatches. If you've seen them 100 times, I just like to include swatches for my own personal, like I get to look at them and see, oh, I want to use that shade, that shade, that shade, and how it performs on my skin tone. But I know not everyone enjoys the swatches. Also, like it might help somebody if you're around my skin tone to see how they look on my skin tone. I don't know. But like I said, the timestamps will be down below if you're interested in skipping over certain parts. If you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I do a ton of product reviews such as this and colorful makeup looks. I'm really excited to see what we come up with today, and let's get into this video. I love the whole vibe of this palette. This is the packaging. The only thing I don't like is the packaging. I'm not gonna lie. This is very fingerprinty, and I literally just took it out of the cardboard. It just got here. FedEx literally just delivered it like maybe 10 minutes ago. That's how crazy. I was like, it's out for delivery. I gotta get my makeup on. I gotta be ready to go because I want to get this video up ASAP. This is very fingerprinty for it being out of the packaging for like 5 minutes. So if you guys can see, it is like, you can see my camera. This is my setup. And you see all those fingerprints there. It's like very fingerprinty, and that's something I don't really like because I like to keep my makeup really nice and clean. I also do have the mini Zendo palette. This is what it looks like. And I'll be honest with you, it looks like I haven't used it because I haven't. I bought this recently and I just haven't had a chance to dip into it. I actually bought a set, I think it was on sale, and I bought a set of some other mini palettes because like I said, I'm trying to get myself into Natasha Denona formula. I own almost all of the Mercier palettes from Pat McGrath, and now I'm dipping my toes into the Natasha Denona life. This is the midi size palette, so this one's $65 versus the, like, for example, the Circle Local palette, which is my first big full-size Natasha Denona palette, which is $129. That's a lot. Now, what I like about this midi size is that you get the same amount of shades. They're just smaller pans, and who doesn't love that? I hope she comes out with more midi size palettes because I would definitely be more inclined to buy this. This is what the palette looks like. I don't think I've showed the palette yet. I'm just so excited. I want to make sure that I talk about everything. So the color story is inspired by the 5 elements of Zen, which I absolutely love. That's wood, metal, earth. What am I missing? Okay, hold on. Wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. That's why we get a bunch of cool tones and a bunch of warm tones. This is a lot warmer than I thought it would be, especially in comparison to the mini Zendo palette. I feel like this is very, very cool tone. So this is a lot warmer than a lot of people expected. I've seen a few reviews, but I'm not gonna let that sway my opinion. I'm gonna try it like I would any other palette review that I've done on my channel. The reason I wanted to buy this is because I do like the blue and green earthy tones over here and water tones, but I also really love red. Red is my favorite color. I'm wearing red today, so I have to do something with this red over here. And I was just intrigued. This shade caught my attention the most, as did this shade, as did this little minty shade. When I think of summer, I think of red, fiery, like it's hot. So I think that this is a perfect palette for summer, the ocean as well. Like I think that they released this at a really nice time, a great time. So I'm really excited to play with this today. I don't think there's a single shade in the mini Zendo palette that is repeated or looks similar. They're not dupes for each other whatsoever. I think that they are complementary to one another, which I also really like. And I've had the same experience with the midi love and mini and midi love palettes. I could say words, I promise. Okay, so I quickly want to read straight off Sephora. It says it's a warm tone palette inspired by the mini Zendo with hues of pink, brown, coral, and peach, and pops of turquoise. It provides maximum color payoff with minimal effort, ensuring pro level results. It allows seamless blending to achieve a vibrant and neutral, long-lasting look with a range of shades that allow you to create the natural everyday look and the most dramatic evening glam. It does have a mix of mattes, metallics, and then the cream to powder mattes, which are a very interesting formula to me. I do have to say though, the fact that it's described as inspired by the mini Zendo, I don't really understand because honestly, they look like 2 completely different palettes, but again, they could be used in conjunction with one another. Anyway, I want to do some swatches, and then I'm going to do a little bit of comparisons, and then I'm going to do each of the eye look. My info is a medium cinnamon, and it is a cream to powder matte. Luster is a bronze gold, and that is a metallic. Balance is a light medium caramel, and that is a creamy matte. Below is a medium silver blue teal, and that is a metallic. Mantra is a medium greenish teal, and that is a cream to powder matte. Aura is a medium golden orange red, and it's a duochrome. Vigor is a medium muted red coral, and that is a creamy matte. Relief is a light medium pink coral, and that's a creamy matte. Equilibrium is a medium dark silver teal, and that's a metallic. Breath is a cream to powder pastel mint. Sense is a pink copper metallic. Tranquil is a light warm rose metallic. Calm is a pastel peach cream to powder. Yama is a light peach bronze with green reflex, and that's a duochrome. It's probably my favorite shade. Zeal is a dark dusty army green creamy matte. I do have to say that some of the metallics don't really perform like metallics. Like Aura is a duochrome, but it is not, this is future me by the way, but it is not as metallic, I would say, as the, for example, Luster, which is the gold. I don't know, they look so different. And then Yama is also pretty like metallic-y, crumbly, but it's also a duochrome. It's almost like a topper, to be honest. Apologies that I am the world's worst swatcher, but it's okay. I'm gonna get into a few comparisons that I like. Just off the top of my head, I see a few similarities. And for example, there's two shades in the Love palette, the Midi Love palette, Heartbeat and Heart, that are very similar to Vigor in my opinion. I love these reds though, so I can never have too many. Heart is more pinky and Heartbeat is like more burgundy, I would say. And then I think Vigor is just like a true red, but as you can see, they're quite similar. I do think that the shade Giving in the Midi Love palette, which is this one right here, it looks really similar to the shade Tranquil in the Zendo palette. It's this one over here, although it's more orangey. I'm the world's worst swatcher. I don't know how I can do this. I will say the Zendo palette looks really similar to the Sunrise palette. I don't own that one. I wanted that one. I almost bought it during the Sephora VIB sale. I decided to spend my money on Pat McGrath instead. The Sunrise palette definitely has more yellow. Honestly, the Sunrise palette speaks to me so much more than this palette in general. I do love the color story of here, but I think there's a lot more bright and fun summery shades. I think this is more minimalistic. I think the idea behind this is to be more minimalistic because of the Zen attitude and whatever. I think a lot of these shades are meant to be one and done shades, and that's, I think, the whole vibe, the whole aesthetic of this palette. Moving to another kind of similarity I see, and that's from the Circle Loco palette, and that's the first shade that I saw in this Zendo palette that I thought would be similar was Mantra and Acrobat. But now that I'm looking at it, Acrobat is definitely, it's a cream to powder by the way, just like Mantra is, but this is more teal for sure, as you can see, and Mantra is more green. So definitely not the same. Then there's also Fun to Mime and Breath, which Breath is just a lot more minty and Fun to Mime is just more blue aqua. So those are really all the similarities I see within the Natasha Denona palette. I'm actually gonna do, like I said, a 2 looks 1 palette, but I think I'm gonna concentrate each eye on each side of the palette. So the warm side and then the more blue green side situation. I do plan on doing a 5 looks 1 palette, so I'll definitely mix and match then, because I feel like it's going to take some skill to make them, I don't know, cohesive. And I did watch Morgan Turner's review. If you haven't seen it, I'll have her link down below because honestly her reviews are very, very helpful. She thinks that this palette is not cohesive. I personally agree, but I also love that because I think it's going to challenge me to create looks with both sides of the palette, and I love a challenge like that, and I love creating like different kinds of looks that are out of the norm, I guess. I'm really excited to see what I come up with when I'm mixing the two, but for today I'm going to stay on each side of the palette. I want to see the formula, like how it is and how it works on the eyes, and see how I like it, I guess. I'm super inspired by a look that I saw on one of the models in the promo shots of this palette. I'm gonna do something similar to that look because, oh my gosh, it was so pretty. It's like, I'll pop a picture in because I kind of lost it, but I have it in my head of what I'm gonna do kind of. And it's like the spotlight eye with some gold in the middle, and I'm really excited. So I do want to concentrate on the red. I want the red to be the most prominent shade and the inner and outer corner of this look. So this eye will be the warm tone side. So I'm gonna first take in this shade called Vigor. This is a Rephr 13 brush. I'm going to take this on the inner. Oop, I have to blend in my concealer because it's creasing a lot. Oh, this is really pigmented. This red reminds me of summer. It is very like fiery, like chili pepper, spicy foods. I don't know how I went from summer to food, but whatever. And I'm going to take this on the inner part. So I'm actually taking a Refer 1 brush because it's a little thicker, and I'm just blending the outer edges out. I'm also taking it on the lower lash line, just entirely all the way through. Now I'm just going to take the shade Relief, which is this peachy shade over here, and that's going to blend out the red. Ooh, I love that combo. And I'm actually going to take a little bit on the lower lash line. Just going to take a little bit more of Vigor. I want to deepen it out so badly just to use like more shades in the palette, but I'm just like, I'm feeling this look right now. I don't know. What do I do, guys? Okay, let's see how I feel after doing the middle shade, which I'm going to take the shade Luster right here. This is stained, not dirty. I promise I spot cleaned, but let's see how it works without any setting spray or anything. So I'm just gonna take that. That's so pretty, guys. Just gonna blend that into the red. I've never done a spotlight eye before, I'm not gonna lie, and I don't know where has this technique been my entire life. I love it. So there's not a lot of fallout. I don't even see any fallout, but I'm just gonna do this just in case. I got something in my eyeball. For the inner corner, I'm gonna take this shade, my favorite, Yama. I don't know what that means, to be honest. I think this is more of a topper. It's got a nice dual chrome. It's a metallic, it's crumbly. It's more of like a topper metallic. It's a little crumbly. It has that beautiful dual chrome. I love it. So it fits like both aesthetics of the palette, like the warm side and the cool side. And I love that. So, so pretty. I am loving how this look turned out. I'm really excited to see what I come up with over here. So let's go ahead and first take the shade Mantra, which is one of her cream to powder formula. And I'm a little nervous because these can get pretty crumbly. I think the cream to powder formula is good. I think it's her solution on how she can make colors that are very hard to formulate better. So I do think that it is a good formula for the most part. It is very crumbly in the pan. And what I do notice, and I'm going to see how the pastel mint shade is that I'm going to use next, is that the lighter shades are very, very patchy. It's easier for the lighter shades to swipe to blend instead of packing it on like I'm doing with this one. This one's packing on beautifully, and I'm sure it'll blend out beautifully in a second. The darker shades are phenomenal usually in this formula, but the lighter shades, we'll see how it goes. This is like one of my favorite colors in the world. I love this teal shade. I use pretty much all of the like earthy tones, I guess the water tones. We're gonna take a Refer, what's this, 14, and the shade Breeze. This is one of the cream to powder formula, but it's mint. It's much lighter. We're gonna see how this blends out the Mantra shade. I actually really like this shade a lot. It's one of my favorite shades of all time. It's very crumbly. It's more crumbly than Mantra, that's for sure. I will fix it. I will fix it. Okay, it's blending out beautifully. I like it a lot. I'm gonna do a little bit more blending, obviously, because I'm not gonna leave it like this. I look crazy, but I think it's really nice. I actually like this shade a lot more than the blue I was talking about in the Circle Logo palette. Like the formula is much better for some reason. But I'm gonna take a little bit more of Mantra and just kind of blend that. I don't even want to cut my crease. Let's see how it goes. I'm gonna take the shade Flow, which is this shimmer blue shade. Let's see how pigmented if it's as pigmented as the gold that I use on the other side. It's a lot more crumbly, so it's definitely the same metallic formula. That is pretty. I'm actually gonna take it only like halfway because I'm gonna use the other shade. Let's see how it works with the finger. Just curious. I do think it gives more of a pop with the finger than with the brush, but the brush was still good. I like the brush for getting right up in the crease. I don't even have to cut my crease. And then I'm gonna take the shade Equilibrium, which is the darker. This is one of my favorite shades too, like of all time. I kind of see myself using this as like a smoky eye. Oh, this is darker than the shade in the crease. It's also a different tone. I'm not sure if I would pair these together, to be honest. I don't know, it's still nice. It deepens the outer corner. It looks nice. It's a nice formula too. It's really metallic. I'm gonna add a little bit more of Flow. For the inner corner, I don't know, I don't really see a lot of like inspo for the inner corner. You know what? Who did I see? Kinky Sweat. She used the shade Breathe, I think, in the inner corner, and that was cute. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I usually like to go for a shimmer shade in the inner corner, but you know what? This is stunning. So we're gonna do that. Just blend it upwards a little bit. I do notice that there's a lot more fallout with this side. Like in general, the shades, the metallics were a lot more crumbly than this side. Oh, let's do the lower lash line. Hello. I'm gonna take the shade Mantra, the deep shade. My lash is playing me today. My eyes are watery because, you know, it's spring, allergies, hello. And then I would take the shade Breathe. Let's see how this performs on the lower lash line. I do feel a little bit like those two shades together, the two mattes that I use in the crease, they transform color somehow when you blend them. Like, they look like two completely different colors than they do in the pan. And in the inner corner, like, I use the same shade, but it doesn't look like that shade up there. That's why I was trying to, like, make it peek through a little bit more. But, you know, this needs to tie in a little bit better right now. It's looking a little strange here. Okay, so this is the final look number 2. I really love the way this turned out. I think this is a lot of fun. I cannot wait to mix and match. What I was thinking is that I do like the layout of this palette. Like, I like that you have the warm tones on one side and the blues on the other side, but I would have liked to see more variety throughout the palette, in that maybe it'll help spark some ideas into how to mix these two, because I believe Natasha did say that she wanted people to be inspired to mix the warm and the cool tones, but it's very difficult when you have them separated like this to like visually see like what you, I don't know how to mix it, you know what I mean? Lashes are playing me today. It's like not even freaking funny. I do want to do a 5 looks 1 palette, but I do have a feeling I'm gonna run out of ideas on how to like combine these two, how to make different looks. I want the challenge. I want to challenge myself. I'm really excited to see what I come up with. Overall, I think this is a great palette. Is it my favorite Natasha Denona palette? No. In fact, out of like the 2 midi sizes that I have, I do like the Love palette a little more. It's just more my color story. I really like purples and mauves, and I think that I just like, I don't know, I vibe with this palette a lot more. I do like this. I would love this for every day. I enjoy the more warm tones for every day. I do like that this is more of a minimalist palette, as the Zen essence is, I guess. I do like the blues in this palette. I think they perform better than the Circle Loco palette, but out of all my Natasha palettes so far, I think the Circle Loco is my favorite. Obviously, I am a way more colorful person than the average makeup consumer. If these colors are your vibe, I think you'll really like this palette. I think the formula is great. I'm excited to play with it more. Like, I really am. I think I will use a lot of these for everyday shades. Okay, that completes this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you're going to be picking up this palette. I think that it is a really nice palette. I'm totally feeling this side. I think that I could like this look is like my I don't know, it's speaking to me. But let me know which one you like more. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments. Let's have a conversation. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me out so much. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. See, okay, now let's do that again because I sound crazy. And I just quickly want to read off of the Natasha, wait, what? Okay, so I want to read straight off Sephora. Okay, so I quickly